Hello, good evening and welcome to Roma Theory. How is everybody doing? KALIMUENDO is Ghisolfi's number one pick. We've also have some very interesting developments on the Chiesa front, with Di Marzio reporting that his agent will travel to Rome next week to speak with Ghisolfi and De Rossi. And I think that's worth a chat because it's accelerating behind the scenes. Now again, this might not mean that Chiesa will sign for us. I'm not saying it's a done deal, but to go from a simple idea to a development, an acceleration, bringing his agent to Rome, I think there's something that we're trying to do behind the scenes and satisfy those users with his first pick. So that's that. Also, I'm going to read a very interesting article from Angelo Mangiante, one of the most reliable sources when it comes to Roma, who basically describes Roma's strategy in this transfer window, what its biggest objectives are to kind of close a chapter of a project which didn't work out and open up a new one, which is based on sustainability, which is based on profit, and which is based on young profiles, as we've already discussed. How is everybody doing? Spalletti did announce his confirmed squad for the Euros. All the Roma boys are in it. Zaccagni. I was about to say Roma boy Zaccagni. Hell no. Cristante, El Shaarawy, Mancini and Pellegrini all will travel to Germany for the Euros. So that's great news when it comes to that. I'm a bit disappointed that Orsolini was excluded. I think Orsolini deserved to be in that list, but hey, I'm not Spalletti. Spalletti will definitely have his motives. So, right, again, welcome to everybody. Don't forget to hit the like. Please do subscribe to the channel. It takes 2 seconds, and it would be great. I want to start off with this article because it sets up the scene really well. Transfer window starts in about 2 weeks, maybe a bit more, 2 weeks and a half. So a lot of time still, but it's that time of the year where you need to try and lock agreements. You need to try and lock agreements, speak with agents, and then as soon as the transfer window opens, you've got the agreements and you can buy them immediately. So this is what Mangiante says. He also discusses the Chiesa situation, which again we'll discuss later on. The first match will be played on Chiesa. It's the profile that De Rossi likes the most, these characteristics. The meeting with the agent in the next few days will serve to delve deeper into the issue. It will be the club's first response to go into the direction of the coach to improve the team in the starters. The first stone of the work in progress. 3 years to build a lasting model. I think this is important. Scrap the old model, scrap the old project. This is the start. So I mentioned this last week, but if we don't get Champions League football in the first year, it might happen, it might not happen, but there's a high chance that we don't get top 4 in the first year. I will be disappointed. I will be pissed. But if anybody puts this manager under the bus after the first season, is wrong. Because he's clearly saying, and this is clearly showing to us, that a new project has started. Forget the old project. Forget the players we bought. Forget the results we achieved. Forget the Conference League trophy. Forget the Europa League final. Forget the last few league positions. It's a new thing. It's a new chapter. It's the first beginning phase of these next 3 years. We're working in building a model which will last for the next 3 years. This is the structural and objective. This structural objective passes through the 3-year contract for De Rossi, which will be announced tomorrow apparently, and the same duration for Ghisolfi, a sharing work that has just begun. Sustainability is the first input coming from the ownership. It means wages that will no longer be third in Serie A with a Champions League that has been missing for 6 years. The exit at the end of the loan of the heavy salaries of Lukaku, Renato Sanchez, Azmoun, and potentially Belotti and Tammy Abraham will give more oxygen to the club's coffers. Another condition that filters through the ownership is first selling, then buying, and that will lead to more freedom in the transfer window. So yeah, a lot of players could also leave. This is effectively what he's saying. Now, a lot of players can be sacrificed, from Tammy to Smalling to Karsdorp to Zaleski. Unfortunately, in this list also lays Bove. If we sell Bove, I will start a revolution. But apparently he's in this exit list to try and make a profit. If we sell Bove, I will start a revolution. Like, I am not even joking. If we sell that man, I will chain myself inside Trigoria, and until the Fredkins don't resign, I am not gonna leave. So this is the situation. Right. Striker. I think it's massive. I think it's extremely important. Ghisolfi wants to bring in KALIMUENDO. Now, I have to be very honest with you. I have no idea who this guy is. Like, I don't. I saw people saying he's a FIFA merchant. Like, on FIFA, he's a player that everybody came across once in a lifetime and that everybody had in their team once in a lifetime. I don't remember having him on FIFA. I don't remember scouting him on FIFA. I don't remember this guy. Now, maybe that's me. Maybe I'm being weird. I don't follow the French league. I've got zero interest in it. But I am not in a position to give an overall judgment on him. I can give a judgment on the age. 22 years old for a striker isn't bad, but it's a very big risk. And number two, a striker which isn't proven to come in and be your first striker, in my opinion, as I've repeated multiple times, is a risk that I think we can avoid. Now, this doesn't mean that if he comes in, he's going to flop. No, and that's where we need to be patient and back him and have faith in him. But what I'm saying is, I understand that this is the start of a completely new project. So, if this project is based on sustainability, then okay, I understand why we would go for KALIMUENDO instead of buying Lukaku. Of course I understand. And I will back this, because if this is the direction that this club needs to go to, I will back this. But I also will speak from a fan's point of view. I am not convinced by the idea of having him as a first striker. But this is just me being scared that this is too much of a gamble. Like, I think KALIMUENDO would be a perfect second striker. Even if, despite not knowing much about him, based on age, based on goals scored, apparently he scored what? How many goals did he score? Like 12 goals last season in the French league? Not bad, but it's not the levels and the stats that we need for a first striker. So, again, my position here would be, this guy isn't bad. I'm liking his profile, but it's not the profile that I want for my ideal starting 11. Again, I'm not the manager, I'm not the owner, I don't decide. But I can give opinions, and this is my opinion. As a second striker, I would have nothing against him. I think also, to speak about strikers, I think we need to understand, one thing that I've read in these past days is that apparently we're going to have a very big revolution up front. Like, in a sense that all the strikers that we had in these past seasons are going to leave. From Tammy to Lukaku, who's already left, to Belotti to Shomurodov. All of them, in my opinion, are going to leave this summer. I would give Tammy one last chance, but if I give Tammy one last chance, then I don't buy KALIMUENDO and I don't start Tammy as a first striker. I am pro at the idea of giving him a last chance, but not as a first striker. And if you keep him as a second striker, your first striker can't be KALIMUENDO. So out of all the strikers we have, I would ideally dream is Lukaku. Won't happen. He's already said he admires Conte, favorite manager. That guy's got his path to Napoli written in the stars. Belotti's gonna leave, drop the wages. Shomurodov could be used in an exchange swap deal with Cagliari, because apparently De Rossi is a very big admirer of Prati, young Italian midfielder, not a bad name. Shomurodov leaves, Belotti leaves, and apparently one of the biggest priorities of Ghisolfi and the Roma board to clear the wages and to restart from scratch is also clearing Tammy out. Aston Villa have shown interest, Leicester have shown interest, and Crystal Palace have shown interest. Does Tammy want to go back to the Prem? If Tammy wants to go back to the Prem, then it's going to make it easier for us to sell him. If that is the case, if we adopt a revolution for our attackers, it means that we will need to buy two strikers in this transfer window. Sell Tammy, don't keep Lukaku, sell Shomurodov and sell Belotti means that we will need to buy 2 strikers. Second striker, 100% agree that it needs to be somebody like KALIMUENDO, similar profile, who's got that good goal instinct but still isn't a proven striker. My number 1 striker pick, my friends, needs to be a proven striker. It needs to be a proven striker. Again, this is the way I see this team. This is the way I see this team work next season. If next season we want to try and compete with Milan, who are going to get Zirkzee up front, Napoli, who are going to get Lukaku up front, Juventus, who've got Vlahovic up front, who's missing? Inter, who've got Lautaro and Thuram up front, we cannot start a season with KALIMUENDO up front. I've got nothing against him, and he could prove me very wrong. But in my opinion, the first striker needs to be somebody who knows the league, who's experienced, who's not too young, and scores the goals. I've always repeated this, and I've always mentioned this name. I'm aware that a lot of people don't want him, and I'm also aware that a lot of people want him. But I can't get my head around not having an attempt to sign Icardi. I think Di Marzio said that he might leave Galatasaray this season and that Italy is a destination which kind of attracts him. I think Icardi at Roma would suit really, really well. I'm aware that people don't like him. I'm aware that buying Icardi is going to make ourselves very divided, because some people say, oh well, he's finished, he's coming from the Turkish league and all of that. And some people will go, great striker, I think he'll perform really well at Roma. I stick with these guys. I truly believe that Icardi comes to us, he's going to have one hell of a good season. I'm not saying we need to buy Icardi, but I think the first striker needs to be somebody proven, because I think it's so important. I think it is. And I'm aware that buying somebody like Icardi would go against this new philosophy of sustainability, because Icardi's wages aren't going to be the lowest, and Icardi's age isn't the lowest. But I'd keep him on my alert watch list, because I would not be too pissed if Icardi comes in. I really wouldn't. I don't think he's that old. I don't think he's that expensive. Wages are... The only problem with Icardi is his attitude. I think his attitude can be a very big problem. But yeah, like that's the way I see it. Some people more similar to Morata. Out of Icardi and Morata, I would pend towards Icardi. I don't know why, but he just gives me those vibes of somebody who in a team like Roma would score so many goals. Morata, not bad, but the thing is, out of Icardi and Morata, I think who's the most finished player is Morata. Morata scored many goals this season, so this kind of contradicts what I just said. But what I'm trying to say here, the profile that for my first striker next season needs to be a proven striker like them. Morata, Icardi, Lukaku. Someone like these 3. Or I've read Santiago Jimenez from Feyenoord, but as much as he's a dick of a human being, he would be a great striker, but he's going to be costly, and we can't afford Chiesa and him. That's my pick. Speaking about Chiesa, agent is going to be in Rome next week. It means that something behind the scenes has happened. It means that in the meeting that Ghisolfi and De Rossi had, De Rossi repeated how it's his first pick. It's how he sees Chiesa the number 1 player in his formation in a 4-3-3. Chiesa apparently is very disappointed at Juventus and is very attracted by this Roma project. I don't normally get too hyped when I read rumors and news, but I've said this in the last Chiesa live stream. I really see this happen. And when you've got Di Marzio confirming that the interest is there and that the agent will be in Rome next week, I I think something could pop up here, and I'm not saying Chiesa is going to sign tomorrow because obviously he's at the Euros. So if he signs, it's going to be after the Euros. But I think if we're moving towards this direction where we really want to back the manager, something which under Mourinho we never did, apart from Tammy in the first year and Dybala, we never really backed him, and Lukaku, we never really backed him, possibly because of his demands and his requests were way too high. But if we want to follow this path of, in order for me to succeed, I need to change, and I also need to start backing my manager, then if the first pick of your manager is Chiesa, who is being put up for sale at his current club, and his price tag is around 25 million, which is a steal for a player like Chiesa, it would be criminal not to get him, especially if De Rossi really wants him. So I really see some very big developments in this Chiesa front. I'm hyped up. Do I think Chiesa is Maradona? No, but some fans who don't like Chiesa and don't want Chiesa need to remember that we aren't Real Madrid, and that if we don't get Chiesa, we're not going to get somebody better than Chiesa. That's the way I see it. So if anybody has doubts around Chiesa, if anybody's like, actually I don't want Chiesa, too injury prone and all of that, you need to remember that we don't have freedom in the transfer window. We're not Real Madrid who can buy Vinicius Jr. If you don't buy Chiesa, it probably means that you can't buy anything more bigger than Chiesa. So I think if we have the chance to sign him, we sign him, even if he's injury prone. Dybala's injury prone, and yes, we shouldn't construct a team of injury prone players, but if only we could have 11 Dybalas, then we'd probably be in top 4, and we'd have probably been in top 4 for the past, 4 years. So yeah, that's the way I see it. And again, it's just not the stage to look at the transfer window. It isn't. We are linked with every single name, and I don't like this. But yeah, until the Euros don't start, then it's gonna be like this. Euros start in 9 days, by the way. Time is flying. Bring KALIMUENDO and then Icardi for an experienced striker. I agree. I would not mind Icardi at all. Plus, the problem with Icardi with me was his wife. Vandenara was one hell of a, I'm not going to call her a B, but she was the problem for that man. Like, we've seen this at Inter. She acted as if she was in a Love Island movie with that man. And from what I'm aware, I don't really care about these things, but from what I'm aware, didn't they break up? Not that I'm into love stories in football, but didn't Icardi and Vandenara break up? I mean, it feels like they broke up and got together back again at least 80 times. No, maybe not. Maybe they didn't break up. I mean, there were rumors of them breaking up. There are rumors of them breaking up every month, so maybe they didn't break up. The problem with this man is that lady. That lady's like a devil. I don't like KALIMUENDO. I've seen him play in person and he's pretty shit. He's honestly no better than Eldor. Oh wow. I hope this room is just più merda giornalistica. Bella Antonio, bella AI, Valentino. I think Tammy will be our striker next season. I don't think so. I think Tammy's gonna leave. I think we're gonna sell him. I just hope we don't sell Bove. Like, if we sell Bove, I'm really gonna be so pissed. I want the money back for my kit if we sell Bove. Tammy getting interest from Villa. I think if Chiesa comes, then he will have someone who will provide better service. Forza Roma says, Matthew, Real Madrid won the UCL without a striker, whereas Bayern had Kane, Barca had... Yeah, okay, mate, I fully agree with you, but look at the team Real Madrid have. Like, Real Madrid can play with Courtois up striker, and then they would still win the Champions League. We ain't got the quality that Real Madrid has got. We need a proven striker to change the equilibrium and score the goals. Because who scores the goals if we don't have a proven striker? Dybala, yes. Chiesa, yes. But who else? We need somebody to put up front who's got a massive sense of positioning and score. Real Madrid have got their right back scores as many goals as their left winger. So yeah. After what we went through with the Mourinho circus, please no Icardi. How injury prone is Chiesa versus Dybala? I still think Dybala is more injury prone. Dybala's more. The problem with Chiesa is the ACL injury that he had. Chiesa to Roma would be an absolute dream. What do you think about loaning Zaniolo and playing him as a 9? I don't want Zaniolo. Not that I hate the man, because not that I like the man, but I'm not one of those guys who Zaniolo left and went on his Instagram comments and went, dai, ti ammazzo la famiglia, ti brucio casa. That's not, who cares? Like, he leaves. He ain't Messi. I'm not gonna regret him that much. I was disappointed, but do I want to get him back? No, because I think he's proven in Turkey and in the English league that he's a wasted talent. And I think he needs to get back to Italy, but I don't want him back. I don't. People make mistakes, fine, but you can't just get away with these mistakes this easily. We will never know the real story to the Zaniolo situation. That is why I don't fully blame Zaniolo on the Zaniolo situation, but I'm sure he made mistakes. I'm convinced that his attitude is a weak attitude. And he's proven this in Turkey, he's proven this in England, and he's proven this with us after the injury. So, no, I don't. Well, look, I wouldn't want him back. But if I need to bring him back as a second line, so not as a starting player, as much as I think people who make mistakes need to try and disappear, maybe as a second line wouldn't be too bad. But I think the other thing with Zaniolo is that it's going to divide the fan base so much. The ultras don't want him. The ultras are very, traditional minded. They don't want a player who betrayed you. So it's just going to divide a lot. And I think it's going to create that toxic attitude which we don't need. Tammy won't start or get sold. David costs too much. Tammy titolare, KALIMUENDO backup. I'd give Tammy another chance, but not as a first striker. And I think he's going to be sold. By the way, the last thing which I do want to speak about is season tickets. This has got nothing to do with us, but this is a fan channel, and I'm sorry, but the prices of the season tickets are embarrassing. Again, Fredkins are never gonna watch this video, but I hate to say this, but the Fredkins are using us badly here. The fact that a season ticket where I sit costs around 450 to 500 euros is crazy. I know you get access to all the games, but it's just too much. They keep on increasing these prices, and the results are never shown on the pitch. And we as fans love this team and will follow this team everywhere, but there's a limit to everything. There's a limit to everything. You cannot increase the prices of the season tickets when the results aren't there. You can't do this. The results have been shit for the past 6 years, and every season that goes by, the season tickets increase of price. It's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know why they're doing this. I know that this team has a little bit of depth, but you can't use us fans to cover up this depth. You can't. Because 500 euros for a season ticket, where I sit, which doesn't include the 2 games against Lazio, because where I have my season tickets, it's Distinti Nord, where Lazio fans sit during the derby. So my season ticket costs 500 for 18 games. No Europa League games are in it, so I need to pay the Europa League games. Adding on to this, I don't have access to the derby tickets, which makes me buy the derby tickets and spend added money. It's just too much. You can't. It's embarrassing, the prices that they've done this season, and I hope that there is a change, because otherwise you're going to see a massive decline in the attendance in that ground. It's a miracle that stadium has 75,000 fans in it every single game week. Because, yes, we are the best fans in the world, but, they are very, very high. And I'm all up to increasing the prices if the results are there. The players have been shit. The results have been shit, and there has been no overall improvement. So why on earth would you increase the prices? If we win the Champions League, if we win the league and all of that, I fully agree that maybe there should be an increase because of the demand, because of the attention, because of the retention, because of the aura and all of that. But when the results have been this weak, you cannot do this. And it's a suicide. And the Fredkins, again, are playing with fire here. Because the more they do this, the more the fan opinion is going to rotate against them and turn against them. And the last thing you want is a divided fan base with half of them going along the Fredkins and half of them attacking the Fredkins. Anyways, I thought I had to say that because we are a community, we are a fan base, we are a very passionate fan base, but unfortunately the Fredkins are buying your passion here because it's just ridiculous. Right, I'm going to catch you tomorrow. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe to the channel. Will it be KALIMUENDO? Will it not? Chiesa developments next week, so we'll be here to comment and react to them. Don't forget to hit the like, it takes 2 seconds, it's free of cost, and it would be unbelievable if everybody could hit it. Also subscribe, share the link of this channel with your families and friends. Follow Roma Theory TV on Instagram, and talk to you very, very soon. See you all. Out.